But yeah, here it is. And basically, like you see right here, it's reiterating a little bit more of what we were talking about earlier. Right. So it says Japan embraces Web3 as global regulations grow wary of crypto with a tight, I should say, with tight regulations already in place that helped insulate the FTX Japan and investors from heavy losses. Japan is working on policy and guidelines for just that stable coins. But listen to this. NFTs and also DAOs, right? So we're going to point that out as well, as it welcomes a crypto future. And you see the whole particular outline. And again, why would we want to jump into the likes of Jasmy, have regulatory clarity in the likes of Japan? That wouldn't make sense. But let's face it, guys, that is reality. That's what excites so many people, is when people FOMO in. The consistent meme of the guy at the ticket booth who, for instance, is selling Jasmine for 0. What is it, 0.003 or 4, right? And then there's a whole huge line for Jasmine when it hits a buck, right? And that's the reality when it comes to not just Jasmine but everything, right? So getting further into this, it says, while many other countries are still standing still and shrugging their shoulders in the face of the cold wind, Japan is positioned to play a unique role in the crypto industry. It states that after a recent trip in Tokyo, it's hard to overstate how out of sync Japan is with much of the world. However, if you think about it, they are not quite all that phased when it comes to this whole nonsense of FTX. The FTX crash has made, listen to this, no impact on policy making. So if anything, the main thing that we should take away from this is, well, we are going to hear more about regulatory compliance, not just here in the United States and around crypto all over the world, but it's also Japan. So it states lawmakers and regulators, not just from Japan, but obviously the United States and Europe to Asia, express increased wariness of crypto. Web3 promotion remains part of Japan's national strategy. A small but active group of politicians is proposing guidelines for everything. Yeah, everything when it comes to decentralization, DAOs, NFTs, you name it, right? So it says one of the enormous, I'm going to pronounce that right, excuse me, tax requirements has been revised, marking a major win for crypto entrepreneurs. And again, my thing is, when I look at the timeline of what's going on with Japan, I mean, let's face it, like 2022, it may seem like it was a long time because of crypto winter and so on. It flew by pretty quick if you think about it. All these years are flying by quickly, especially when we get, the more older we get, right? Look at this right now. It says Coinbase and Kraken, right? My buddy is a big fan of Kraken, withdrew from Japan a while back, but Binance, which irked Japanese regulators in the past, managed to acquire a Japanese exchange. And here's the key kicker here. Stablecoins, which are currently not allowed in Japan's exchanges, have a new path forward simply because, like I mentioned before, the pairings, USDT, Tether, USDC, Circle, right? Which raises the question, why is Japan embracing crypto now? That's the magic thing. That's what we should all basically have an idea about. Well, the simplest explanation basically is that when it comes to crypto, Japan has already been to hell and back. It proved that it can weather a storm. So now some of the old fear is gone. And if fear is going to be gone, then if anything, there will be new trust. And when there's trust, we have, for instance, regulatory clarity. Then more trust comes in. If there's trust there, you have, as their saying goes, the institutional money. So when I state something like, these utility coins, right? For instance, we should see a lot of institutional money coming in like crazy. It doesn't just also apply to the likes of what we have going on here in the United States, right? It applies literally all over the world. And we're seeing some of this even in regards to Japan. Now, let's face it, Jasmine might not even be, a quote unquote utility token. I have seen reports that there is some kind of utility there, but let's face it, guys, it's not going to be something that strikes me to the likes of, Ripple's XRP or Stellar Lumens, Quant, and so on, right? But if anything, we understand this. There is huge upside potential when it comes to where we saw Bitcoin in the past, and for instance, where we saw it in, 11/11/2021, 69K of Bitcoin. If this is truly the Bitcoin of Japan, then that's something to be said, right? And last I checked, when it comes to innovation, Japan has always stood out the test of time, dating back to the 1970s, especially with advancements in technologies. Doesn't matter if it's, video game consoles, computers, you name it. Japan definitely is in a whole, category in itself. You think for a moment that if they're going to have the label of the Bitcoin in Japan, that there isn't something to be said about that? No, there's another story there, to say the least. So I want to point out a couple more things here, and that is this right here. It says the reason why we ask for this kind of segregation of assets is because we learned our lesson from the past incidents. Yeah, Mt. Gox and coin check hacks. Fortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, we got used to this kind of emergency situation in crypto compared to other jurisdictions. We are knowledgeable, right? So when this whole thing happened with first magic moment for Japan, I think if the timing is right, was basically the whole thing with Terra Luna. When they saw that, they just got real strict. Like they were, want to talk about country looking out for his people. I think they did just that. Did they take it to an extreme? Yeah, but man, they really moved on it. Now you're starting to see the shift come the other way, literally doing a 180. And I just think we should pay a little bit more attention to this. So my thing is this: key takeaway is understanding these price levels where they're at right now and understanding where this could very well go. And if anything, we should see significant price increases by summer. Is it a case of buy the rumor, sell the news? I don't think so. Because here's the thing. I want to state this. This is not you just buying, for instance, the vision of a particular cryptocurrency shilled by a particular project to the point where it's just like, hey, here's this app that's coming out and it's going to do this and that should pump the price. We're talking about literally an entire nation and a government getting behind regulatory clarity for the country can move forward in crypto. And what's the key one that stands out? Obviously, Jasmy, the Bitcoin of Japan.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.